The lights in your home are flickering, not because of a storm, not because of a failure in the grid, but because somewhere a machine is thinking. Thousands of miles away, massive data centers are consuming electricity at a scale the world is only beginning to understand. And the more we ask AI to think, the more power it demands. We were promised a weightless digital future, a world made of clouds. But the cloud was never weightless. It is built on steel, copper, and an insatiable hunger for energy. Right now, that hunger is beginning to reshape the global economy, and most people have no idea it's happening. I'm Andrew. Welcome to the Capital Plus. For decades, electricity demand followed a predictable pattern. Homes, industries, cities. Stable, measurable, controllable. But something changed in late 2022. Generative AI didn't just introduce a new tool. It introduced a new category of demand. A single AI query can require significantly more energy than a traditional search. Now multiply that by billions of queries every day. At first, the impact looked small, but at scale, it compounds. And compounding demand in a system designed for stability is where the pressure begins. The International Energy Agency has warned that global data center consumption could reach nearly 1,000 terawatt-hours by 2030. That's not a small increase. That's the equivalent of adding an entire major economy to the grid. The question is no longer whether demand is rising. The question is whether the system can keep up. Drive through Northern Virginia, and you'll see something unusual. Rows of massive, windowless buildings. No logos, no transparency. Just gray structures humming quietly in the background. This is where a large portion of the internet physically exists: data centers. Inside those buildings, there is no silence, only heat. And heat must be controlled. Cooling systems run constantly, consuming enormous amounts of electricity and water. In recent years, some of the largest operators have used billions of gallons of water annually just to keep servers from overheating. What appears digital is actually intensely physical. And the faster AI grows, the more infrastructure is required to sustain it. This is no longer just a software story, it's an energy story. Here's the turning point most people miss. AI doesn't scale like traditional technology. More users means more computation. More computation means more power. And power is not infinite. In some regions, grid capacity is already becoming a limiting factor. That means new data centers can't always be built where demand exists. They must be built where power is available, or where power can be secured. This creates a new reality. Energy is no longer just a utility. It is a strategic asset. As demand increases, large technology companies are no longer treating energy as something external. They are beginning to integrate it. Long-term power agreements, direct access to generation sources, partnerships tied to nuclear and renewable infrastructure. The goal is simple: secure, stable, predictable energy at scale. Because without it, AI systems cannot operate. And when energy becomes a constraint, control over energy becomes leverage. This is where economics starts to shift. Not just competition between products, but competition over resources. The expansion of AI is often described as a technological breakthrough. But beneath that narrative lies a second layer: infrastructure, grid pressure, cooling requirements, water usage, capital investment. Billions are being deployed not just into algorithms, but into the physical systems required to support them. And as with any scarce resource, increased demand tends to concentrate power. Those who control access to energy gain a structural advantage. Not temporary, structural. There are two possible paths ahead. In one scenario, advancements in efficiency reduce the energy intensity of AI over time. In the other, demand continues to accelerate faster than improvements in efficiency. If that happens, energy could become one of the defining constraints of the AI era. Not just for companies, but for economies. Because when energy becomes constrained, access becomes unequal. And inequality scales with scarcity. The rise of AI is not just a digital transformation, it is a physical one. Power grids, cooling systems, infrastructure, capital, all working behind the scenes to support something most people only see on a screen. So the real question is no longer
how intelligent these systems will become. The question is, who will have the power to run them, and who will not? I'm Andrew. This is the Capital Plus. Cheers!